folks, it's Amanda here. We're going to continue to practice some yoga. The things you're going to need today are your mat, a block or a book, depending on what you have handy. Get creative. And either a tie, an old tie, or a towel. We're going to be using this to catch the bottom of our foot and to stretch our hamstrings today. Okay? So, let's meet at the mat. Throughout the practice, you're going to notice that the camera angle is going to change just so that you can see a bit better. Practice, have fun, and don't take yourself too seriously. Okay, so finding a comfortable seat on your mat, we start to work on that yogi breath. You don't have to sit crisscross, you can have your legs long. Perhaps you start sitting in a chair. And we start to rest or close our eyes, our hands resting in our lap. And we just check in. Notice the way you're feeling today, any sensations that may be present, whether you describe them negatively, positively, indifferently. Just take a moment to check in, let all those different parts be heard and felt and seen and acknowledged. Soften up the face. I encourage you maybe to think of the last funny thing that you heard and let that kind of creep into the corners of the mouth. We start to add in that yogi breath, breathing into the diaphragm, feeling that expand outward, breathing out, pulling the belly back in. Just letting the breath flow, coming in, flowing back out. If you have that ability to breathe through your nose, find the breath coming and going from there. Perhaps this is not your first time practicing the breath. Take it up as far as you're comfortable. So maybe that's just breathing up towards the ribs. Breathing out, letting it travel back down. Breathe in, let it travel all the way up to the top of the chest. Breathe out, let it go. Try to avoid, as you breathe in, letting your shoulders get close to your ears. Just letting everything stay soft as you fill your lungs, as you empty your lungs. The face still remaining soft. It's going to help with that tension that we tend to hold in our jaw. Keep breathing. We're laying down that beautiful foundation for our practice today. I say it every time, but your breath has to be there. Yoga without breath is not yoga, okay? So we're looking for that state of bringing together to yoke, which is what yoga means, all right? So with that, keep letting the breath move and flow. Start to add some movement into your body. So now as you breathe in, let your shoulders come up to your ears. As you breathe out, take them back and down. Breathing in, sending them up. Breathing out, letting them go. Just adding some heat into the body. Breathing out, letting the shoulders slide back. Go in reverse. Breathe in, shoulders up. Breathe out, let the shoulders come forward. And just finding that movement forward and back. Settle into a neutral space. Let's take the arms out in front, and we're just going to open out to the side. So breathing in, opening up, breathing out, closing it off, breathing in, opening, maybe bringing the shoulder blades towards each other, breathing out, bringing yourself back to center, letting dynamic breath happen here. Breathing out, coming back. 2 more, you've got this. Breathe in, breathe out. Last one. Breathe out, take it back. Give yourself a hug this time. Give it a nice squeeze as you feel those shoulder blades pull apart. All right. And maybe while you're here, you just practice lifting up those elbows and then dropping down those elbows. Maybe once or twice. All right, undo. See if there's any movements your body needs. Still finding your breath moving. Okay. Now we think about the core engaging, pulling the belly button in and up towards the spine, belly nice and tight. We absolutely are going to have some softness around the belly, so you need a healthy layer of fat in order to survive. Okay, so if it doesn't feel like you've got rock hard abs, it's okay. All right, and if you do, that's okay too. All right, so pulling the belly button in and up. We're gonna send both arms up to the sky. Reach up nice and tall. If the shoulders are giving you a problem, bend the elbows. Otherwise, reaching up really tall. Take your own left hand to your right knee. Right hand's going to travel beside you or behind you. You're sitting up really tall, and then as you twist, you're breathing out, turning to look towards your right or even that right shoulder. So if I were to turn to the side, what you would be seeing is just my fingertips resting on the ground. Hang out here for another 2 full breaths, warming up the body. In and out through the nose if we can help it. Then take the arms back up to the sky. We're going to twist the other way. So now your right hand comes to your left knee, left hand beside or behind, sitting up really tall. As you breathe out, twisting. Hanging out here, taking 2 more full breaths. Face still remains soft. Eyes are just continuing to look over that left shoulder. After your second breath in, bring the arms back up to the sky, and maybe you have that block handy or nearby, and you could place that down in front of you. So hands either going to come down to your lap, maybe they come down to the floor, maybe they come to that block. But we start to work on coming forward. Maybe we push the block away, all while your bottom stays on the ground. Maybe continuing to press away, feeling as though we're going for that child's pose with our legs crossed, working your way down. Say you're not using that block, let your head drop. Maybe we could even let our head try to make its way towards the ground, but not forcing it if it's causing any of that pain. We don't want to add pain or suffering. Allow yourself to take a moment here. A deep breath in, deep breath out. And then on your inhale, you're going to work yourself back halfway. Take your left hand, spread the fingers, put them in the center. Take your right arm, you're going to reach back. Look towards your right thumb, which should be pointing to the sky. Take a breath in, a nice breath out. One more breath in. As you breathe out, switch out your hands. So right arm's going to come take that space of the left hand. Left arm's going to reach back, look to the thumb. Staying here for the full breath. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hand back. Walk the hands behind you. Wiggle out your legs. Give them any kind of waking up motion. Perhaps just feeling out those shoulders. All right. Now start to work the hands in. And we've done this one before. It's staff pose. If it's too much, bend your knees. We think about that spine staying really long, looking towards our big toes. Breathing in, breathing out, shoulders back, chest is open. Perhaps we can even bring those hands by our sides, pressing ever so gently into the ground. Activate your thighs, your shins, perhaps spreading the toes to get those muscles nice and active. Keep it there. Perhaps you can keep those muscles and relax your toes. Stay for another 3 breaths. Inhaling, exhaling. Your last inhale here, and your last exhale. And then perhaps just a light twist here. Again, we think about the core being nice and tight. I'm going to twist to my right. Maybe look over the right shoulder. As I exhale, I'm going to go the other way. And then I'm back to where I started. Reach for that tie, or if you have a yoga strap, you could do that. It's like a cloth belt. A belt will work for this as well. Or that towel. You're going to take that, put it underneath the bottom of your right foot. So you might need to bring that in and then start, okay? So you are not holding on for dear life. Maybe if it's too long, you can kind of work your way forward or do the rotate kind of measure. Bend your left knee, and we're going to practice reclining ever so gently, so make sure there's nothing you're going to hit your head on. All right, so nice and tight here. Belly is engaged. You're adding this beautiful pull, but you're also pushing that right leg away. All right, see how slow you can lower. Maybe that's on an exhale. Keep going. Now you're back. All right, so play around with your hamstring strength here, or length. And perhaps that means you have to keep your right knee bent. That is okay as well. Maybe we can straighten it. We're not trying to find that hyper extension where the leg starts to bow out. All right, so while you're here, shoulders are on the ground, face is still nice and relaxed. Maybe recall that funny thing that we thought of in the beginning. Let that sneak back into the corners of the mouth. Pull your toes to your nose. Say hello to that calf muscle. Point them away. Take your foot in. Take your foot out. Maybe just a little bit of ankle movements. And then we settle back to neutral. We can absolutely choose to stay here, or start to straighten that left leg a little at a time. All right, maybe both are straight at this point. You could always come back. Right, take both sides of the strap, the belt, the towel, whatever you're using, into your right hand. Take your left hand to the floor. And I'm just going to turn so you can see a little bit better. Okay. So my right hand is holding this strap. Left hand's going to come to your hip or the floor, and this is going to be our anchor. All right. Take your right foot over to the right nice and slowly, avoiding any sharp, painful movements. Still breathing, using that belly to help you. That push and pull of the strap. Staying in that edge, that beautiful spot where you're getting a stretch. Take another full breath. Inhale, bring the leg back to center. All right. Now, say for a moment you have your left knee bent, which is going to help relieve any tension. You need to let your knee fall over to the left first. Otherwise, we're taking this right foot over to our left. So switch your hands. Left hand's going to hold the strap, the towel, the belt, whatever you have. Right hand can get released to the floor as an anchor this time. Take that right foot over to your left while lifting the right hip up. Keep both shoulders down. Maybe a glance over that right shoulder this time. You never have to get to the floor, but if you do, that is perfectly okay. Hang out for another breath. Keep the muscles active. It is normal to be feeling that right in that right butt cheek. Inhale, lift the leg back up to the sky. Bend your left knee, and we want to come back to a seated position. All right? So that beautiful push and pull, try not to let your back round. Nice and tight. Work your way up. Awesome. Cool. Release that foot, or you can just straighten your other leg. Bend your right knee. I'm going to slide back a little bit. We're going to do the left side. So holding on, belly engaged, nice and tall through the top of your head. And then we slowly lower. Use your abs. And then maybe you're on your back. You most likely will get to a point where you can't control it any further and you have to kind of slide it back. All right, so we're holding on. Nice and loose. The shoulders are relaxed. We could point, flex, take in, take out. Just kind of checking in with the workings that is your left leg and finding the variation from side to side. So one's going to most likely feel tighter, looser, all of the above, none of the above. It's all good. Right knee can stay bent, or we play around with straightening that. So if you think about your hamstrings, 3 parts to that. When we have just the one leg straight, we're at 50% taut. Okay, so if it was a rubber band and you're pulling it to 100%, having one knee bent is going to take you to 50. With both legs straight, you're at 100%. You might also feel your tummy tightening up on its own with that. All right, so still breathing. Take both sides of your strap, your towel, your belt into your left hand. Right hand's going to come down to the floor or that right hip. Left foot comes over to the left, nice and slow. Try to keep your right hip on the ground still. Keep breathing. Now, while you're here, notice what your foot is doing. Quite often, our toes are closest to the sky. Maybe externally rotate so that your foot is parallel to the floor. Okay? So instead of here or there, we're just opening it up. Take one more breath. Inhale the leg back up to the sky. Switch your hands. Right hand's gonna hold on. Left hand can get to relax. And we're gonna twist over to the right. So if your right knee is bent, you're gonna want to take that to the side first. Both shoulders stay grounded. Twisting over to our right with our left foot. Keep your right foot active. One more breath. Inhale, bring it back to center. And then we want to work our way back up. So maybe rebending that right knee, holding on, and then firing up your core, working your way up. Release your foot. You can put the strap to the side for now. And I suggest maybe taking both knees, bending them, taking your hands behind, and just letting the knees go side to side in those windshield wiper movements. You may hear some of your Rice Krispies, all those snap, crackles, and pops. It's okay, as long as it doesn't cause any red flags, any sharp pains. That's what we would like to avoid. All right, still letting your breath move here. Awesome. Now, let's come to hands and knees. If you need to take a blanket and put that down, or a towel down to soften the ground for your knees, go for it. Right? Just another suggestion. Everything that I propose to you is a suggestion. You do not have to do it. All right? So when we find ourselves on hands and knees, we're going to find cat and cow. Tops of our feet are resting on the floor. Our knees and wrists are over and under each other. You start to drop the belly a little or a lot. Shoulders slide back, look forward or up. Breathe in. Breathe out, drop the head, round the spine, press into the ground. Breathe in, drop to cow. Belly's down, chest is lifted. Breathe out, head drops, back rounds. Do 3 more of these, breathing in, breathing out. 2 more. Inhale, lift it back up one more time. Exhale, drop it down. And then shift back to your child's pose, bringing the bottom towards your heels, the chest lowering towards the thighs, the forehead making its way down to the ground, the arms possibly staying outstretched in front, or perhaps taking one hand and the other and reaching back and letting the arms soften up. Let the breath continue to move here. This is one of your resting poses. Could be on your belly, your back, your side. As long as you find a space where your body gets to practice some safety, as well as reconnecting with the breath, giving your wrists a moment of reprieve. And if your head is touching the ground or supported by a block, start to do some circles with your forehead. Slightly moving the head around in a circle. All right, slow that down. Stay present. Another breath or 2. Send the arms out in front. And we rise back up. Let's play around with prepping for our down dog. So if your wrists and shoulders are over and under each other, walk your hands one distance forward, tuck the toes under, and you're going to fire up that core and just see if you could hover your knees up off the ground. All right? Maybe you play around with pressing the ground away from you, and then working your way back, dropping your knees. Doing that again, lifting up, sending the hips back, maybe letting the ears and the upper arms get in line with each other. Work your way back, drop the knees down. This time we're going right into down dog. So lift it up, push away. Start to keep your heels lifted and your knees can stay bent. We're lifting our bottom up high and wide here. If you're too close, try to see if stepping back is going to help. If you're too far away, it's going to feel unstable. So you can always step it in. What we want to think about here is beautiful length rather than compression. Take another breath. And then start to walk your feet. So dropping one heel, bending the opposite knee, just walking, channeling your inner Jane Fonda for a moment. All right. Start to work your way in walking your hands or your feet back to your hands to your feet. So either stepping forward or walking those hands back. All right. Slowly work your way up. Keep the back nice and long. Rise on an inhale. Check in with yourself. Maybe give your wrists a bit of attention. You could bring them opposite each other or give it a little bit of a massage up through. All right. Let's come back into the spine with this one, which is all of our poses. So I'm going to stand a little bit further away just so that you can see the whole frame. I'm going to send both arms up to the sky again, and this time either reaching each hand to the wrists or to the forearms or to the elbows. See which one you're okay with. Feet are going to be about hip distance apart for now. Could be shoulder, that will also suffice. Lengthen through the spine. We're going to take both elbows over to your right. So reaching over, inhale, work your way up. Take both elbows over to the left. Keep going through this. Breathe in, breathe out, go one direction. Come back up, go the other direction. Your hips are going to go to the right as your hands go to the left. One last time. Work your way up. Let your arms relax on down by your sides. Give yourself some wiggles, some jiggles. And we're going to practice what I find to be a breath that's going to help you to release any pent-up frustration or to help release some anxiety. So all that you will be doing is standing exactly how you are. You're going to inhale your arms up. And as you breathe out, you're just going to let it go through the mouth. Just let the arms swing on down. All right, if it causes pain, don't go to that point. All right, so from the side, set yourself up, okay? Arms down by your sides, breathe in, send it up. Breathe out, let it go. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep going. Three more. Inhale, last one. Exhale. Let your arms continue to dangle here. Begin to tighten up the belly. Let your head drop down. You're staring at your knees. Feel free to bend those knees. Now slowly work the hands to your shins. You're going to lift up halfway, maybe glance forward as you flatten that low back. Breathe out, slide back down. We'll do that a few times. Breathe in, lift yourself up halfway. Breathe out, slide down. Last one. Exhale, slide. All right, inhale, get yourself up to standing again. Pardon me. All right, let's do a little bit of flowing here. So take your left foot, send it back, and we are going to take this foot slightly to the side, so our pyramid pose, if you're unfamiliar. All right, so rather than having both feet in the exact same position, because then you're going to be more challenged, which if that's your thing, go for it. But slightly turn that back foot to the side. Take both hands to your hips. Bring the hips forward over that right foot, over towards the right foot. Beautiful length of the spine. Hug the shoulders back. As you breathe out, work your way forward. Again, we're not hyperlocking that right knee. We're traveling. Try not to let that left hip rotate out and back. Both staying forward. Inhale, work your way back up. Add a slight bend to that front knee. Send the arms up to the sky. Belly tight, find something to stare at that isn't going to move. Lift up onto the ball of the back foot, onto your toes. And then as you're breathing out, work on maybe finding some length here. If you fall out of it, get back in. Inhale, work your way forward. Take a brief pass, touch the ground, then take the left knee in towards the chest. You can hold with one hand or both. Flex the left knee. Drop it down. So we're going to speed that up a little bit. If that right leg is like, woo, hello, go ahead and move it around a little bit, okay? So let's go through these. Let's do 3 of them. So when you're ready to, send your left foot back, and we'll skip pyramid pose with this one. We're just going to take that left foot back, you're on your tiptoes, send the arms up, breathe in. As you breathe out, reaching forward. Stay for another inhale. Another exhale. Inhale, bring the knee in towards the chest. Stay. Drop the foot back. Maybe touch down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, start to travel. Stay for another breath in. As you're breathing out, bring the knee through. Hug it into your chest. Have fun with this. One more inhale. Exhale, send the leg back. Flow right through. Inhale, find some takeoff. Exhale, bring the knee in. Stay. And if you fall out, get back in. And then drop it down. So that right leg's definitely feeling fired up now. Give it some love. Move it around, move the ankle. Physically touch it if that feels better. So let's do the other side with this. And I'm just going to turn to the other direction. So finding pyramid pose, we're going to send our right leg back, slightly out to the side. Hands on hips, hips forward. Breathe in. As you breathe out, travel. Working your way forward. You notice that urge for that right hip to start to track back, but we are in control, long and strong. Breathe in, work your way up. Coming onto the toes of the back foot, send the arms up to the sky, breathe in. That bend to your left knee is going to help you to balance. All right, inhale, start to come forward. Stay for an exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, maybe you take a slight pause, tap down, then inhale, take it back up. Flex the right foot. Drop the foot down. All right, let's go right into 3 of those. So send that foot back. Inhale the arms up, belly nice and tight. As you exhale, travel. Stay for a full inhale. Breathe out. Inhale the knee into the chest. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, bring it through. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, send the arms up. This is your last one on this side. You've got this. Exhale, start to travel. Inhale, pull it into the chest. Exhale, drop it down. Free up those legs. Move them around a little bit. Give them a kick. Get some blood flowing. All right? Cool. So from here, let's go ahead and find a wide-legged forward fold. So stepping as wide as you're comfortable, I would say a bit more than shoulders. If you are feeling even more comfortable than that, then sending the legs wide. So let's go ahead and do a wide-legged forward fold, possibly reaching for your block, putting it right in the middle on its tallest. We talk about this being tall, medium, small, okay? Put it on tall, right in between. Then step your feet as wide as you're comfortable. Feet are going to be parallel to each other, so both pointing the same direction. Take the hands to your hips, slide the shoulders back, hug the elbows in, lift the chest, breathe in. As you breathe out, you start to work your way forward, bending at your hips. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. And then I start to let one hand, the other hand come to the block, or even fingertips. Okay. Now with this, I'm just going to practice bending my elbows in order to fold deeper. If it feels good to you, you can turn the block on the shorter side or choose not to use it at all. I'm going to practice showing you on medium today. So let the head drop down. You're looking at that space towards the back edge of your mat. And if this doesn't scream playfulness, when in the last time in your adult life outside of yoga have you looked through the legs while halfway upside down? Keep your left hand in the center. Send your right hand to your hip. Then pull the right shoulder up to the sky. Start to look towards the sky on the right shoulder. Then maybe the right hand's going to reach up to the sky. And again, your thumb is closest to your face. So if someone came over towards your right foot to give you a high five, you'd be set to give them that high five. Breathe in. As you breathe out, bring the hand back. Let's go the other way. So left hand's going to come to your hip. Maybe you just turn to look over the left shoulder or send the hand up to the sky. Full breath. See what would happen if you got a little closer to the ceiling. And then breathe out, let that hand come down. Let's add something in. So breathe in, send the right arm back up to the sky. As you breathe out, reach over towards your left leg. So either the knee, the shin, or the ankle. Inhale, take it back up. Exhale, let it travel. Inhale, back up. Exhale, let it travel. Switch out your hands. Inhale, left hand up to the sky. Exhale, travel over to the right knee, shin, or ankle. Inhale, up. Exhale, over. Last one. Exhale. Bring it back to center. Start to heel toe your feet in just a little bit. Take one hand to your hip, then the other. Start to work your way up nice and tall. And then bend one of your knees. I'm going to choose to bend my right knee and just hop the feet back together. All right, move the legs again, especially if you're achy or you suffer from lack of circulation. We want to keep the blood flowing. So let's go ahead and do 3 half sun salutation A and then 1 full one, just so that we can get back into child's pose and such. Okay, so towards the front of your mat, you are going to stand with your feet hip distance apart, arms down by your side, nice and tall. Activate from the pelvis all the way up, lifting that elevator. All right, so with the elevator, getting all the muscles nice and engaged. All right, chin slightly tucked, look straight ahead. Think of that joke. Let it sneak into the corners of the mouth. Breathe in, send the arms up to the sky. Perhaps a little bit of a back bend here. Breathe out, start to dive down. Bend your knees as much or as little as you need to. Inhale, lift yourself up halfway, flat back. Exhale, slide down. Inhale, the hands back up to the sky. Possibly a back bend here. Breathe out, let those hands come down to your heart, down by your sides. 2 more, breathe in. Breathe out, dive down. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, slide it down. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, the hands down to the heart, down by your sides. Last half here, breathe in. Breathe out, dive down. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, slide down. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Down by your sides. Let's go right into the full thing here. So breathe in, take the arms up. Exhale. Let's go right into the full thing here. Let's go right into the full ones. Breathe in, take the arms up. Breathe out, dive them down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, get the hands down about shoulder distance, and we step or jump our feet back to plank. Feet are hip distance apart. Rock it forward, hug the elbows in. See if you can slowly lower. All right, when you get to the floor, untuck your feet. All right, slide shoulders, elbows back, lift with just the upper body. Maybe a bit pressure into the hands. You find cobra or up dog. Exhale, find child's pose. Continue to breathe. Practice softness, stillness. See what it would be like if you took 5 more breaths. And the last breath, start to work your way back up. So realign hands and knees in tabletop. Take your right arm, reach up to the sky, breathe in. As you breathe out, we're going to weave that through, either resting on our forearm or sending the entire back of the arm to the floor, our right temple or cheek to the mat. Left hand can stay exactly how it is or extend it out into child's pose-like position as you're finding thread the needle pose here. Our eyes are going to look at our right hand, letting our breath move. Placing a block under your head is going to release some of the pressure in your shoulder. It's too much. Two more breaths. With your second exhale, return your left hand where it was so you can inhale, press the right hand up to the sky. Exhale, bring it back down. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So left arm's going to reach up. Exhale, weave it through, either stop on the forearm or extend all the way through. Left temple or cheek coming to the mat. Right hand hanging out where it is or extend it out in front. Eyes looking at your left hand this time. Keep breathing. Two more breaths. Use that second exhale to bring the right hand back. Lift the left arm up on an inhale. Exhale, lower it down. Lean over to, say, your left cheek. Swing the legs around. We're going to need our block again. From your back, you're going to reach for your block. And with your knees bent, lift your bottom up. Place this underneath the sacrum. So place where we can lower all of our weight without causing any kind of spasms, anything like that. Take your hands, let them rest down on the floor. Next, going to stay nice and long. Take a few breaths. Maybe close the eyes. Slowing down your practice. Take 2 more. All right. See what would happen if you were to lift your right foot off the ground. Maybe even extend it up to the sky. Knee can stay bent, or maybe work on straightening it. Again, putting your weight into the block. And then bending that knee, dropping the right foot back down, and doing the other one. Slightly elevating off the floor. Maybe extending the leg up to the sky. Stay staying there for a moment. And you can return both of the feet and stay there if you would like, or bend one, bend the other. You can hover there, or extend both up to the sky. And see if you'd be comfortable taking about 5 breaths. Third breath. Fourth one. Last full breath here. And then slowly lower the feet down. Press into the feet so you can lift your hips up and remove your block. Hug one knee to your chest, then the other, loosely or tightly as you give them a hug, a squeeze, maybe pulling the nose in towards the knee. And then relaxing your head back down. I'm going to choose to send my knees side to side, in a circle, both wide and narrow, going both directions. And I could let both travel over to my left, both travel over to my right. And then I bring it back to center. Keep your right knee in, send your left leg long and let it rest on the ground. Just working to bring this knee into the chest, either on top of your knee or behind the thigh. However close you can get it without strain. And then loosen up the grip. Left hand comes to that right knee. Right hand can rest by your side or out like a T. And I'm going to flip my right palm up to the sky. Take this right knee over to your left. Right hip's going to come off the floor, but keep your right shoulder down. Perhaps your eyes could look over the right shoulder. Breathe in and breathe out. Take one more. Inhale your way back and switch it out. So right leg's going to go long. We're going to work on hugging our left one in on the top of the knee or behind the thigh. Still letting our breath move before we find Shavasana. And loosen up that grip. My left arm's going to come out like a T this time, my palm up towards the sky. Right hand's going to help guide the left knee over to the left. Left hip lifts up off the floor, left shoulder stays down. Eyes might look to that left hand as you stay here and you continue to breathe. Finding one more breath. Work your way back and see if there's any other movements your body could stand to use before Shavasana. Otherwise, that's what we'll find. We could bring our feet as wide as our mat, maybe flip-flop them in a few times, let them flop out and stay there. Palms can open out to the sides, face up, shoulders nice and relaxed, eyes can close. And since you are practicing at home, use anything at your disposal, maybe grabbing a pillow. You could prop your legs up. Begin to let your breath become nice and relaxed. Not too much effort involved here. And we'll stay here for a few minutes. After which, we'll close out our practice. own time, start to bend one knee, the other, and roll over onto your side, supporting your head, and just taking a moment to check in, to take a full breath. Use your top hand to start working your way up to a seat and sitting any way that's going to help you to be comfortable. Once you find yourself sitting comfortably, I'm going to play the singing bowl for you. And the reason I'm going to play this is if you've ever gone to a studio or that stereotypical idea of yogi instructors or anybody who does yoga chanting Om. So the reason that humming or vibrations work to help you to feel more calm is you have your central nervous system, and you can think about all the things that your body takes in and has to process. So whether you're in danger, because your body doesn't necessarily know the difference. So our adrenaline constantly gets going. So you can think about your nervous system as your fight, flight, freeze kind of system. And we're getting all this feedback as to if we're driving, is it a safe, pathway that we're driving on, or is it too cold, is it too hot? All the little adjustments your body has to make. But then you also have your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest. When we're relaxed or at ease, this is our nervous system working. So ideally, through stimulation, we can make that happen. So possibly if you enjoy music, which hopefully you do, but you don't have to, if you enjoy singing along with songs on the radio or CDs, you might notice that you feel a little bit better. It is a nice way to kind of cure yourself of stinking thinking or being in that central nervous system. Okay, so on either side of your face and your neck, you have your vagal nerve, and without getting too sciencey, this goes all the way down into, and it stimulates several organs, but it can go all the way down just below the diaphragm. So through humming and singing, we're vibrating it, we're stimulating it, and therefore it's going to relax us. The singing bowl is going to do that as well. So I invite you maybe to hum along with it, rather than, Om. You could do that if you would like to, but I'm gonna play this. Let your eyes relax, we'll seal up at the end. So just take a breath in, a breath out, let your eyes soften or close. Just a moment to offer and extend gratitude to yourself for your movement, your breath, your time, your energy. I am grateful for you and your practice. I hope that you continue to stay well and healthy. The love and light in me honors the love and light in you. Namaste. Thanks for watching.